Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Open Geology. So we are here discussing about the igneous petrology MCQs, and here in this video we will see MCQs from 21 to 30, and these can be helpful for various geological exams like NET, GATE, GSI or state eligibility test and other exams like the assistant geologist, assistant professor and all. So let's begin with the question number 21st. It is asking about the composition of rock gabbro that can be approximately designated as. So from the IUGS classification, there is a triangle which has your plagioclase, OPX and CPX. Okay, so here in the OPX and in the CPX, you have norite and gabbro. So gabbro belongs to the plagioclase plus CPX. So, and the plagioclase is labradorite, so hence fourth option will be your right answer. Labradorite plus clinopyroxene. Another question is the norite. Norite is a gabbroic rock in which, so as in the previous slide I told you about the plagioclase, OPX, CPX. So here you have the norite, and it has more OPX compared to the CPX. So here the first option OPX is greater than CPX will be our right answer. Then another question is match the following. So here you have to match the rocks websterite, virolite, Herzbergite and lahergillite. Okay, and with their corresponding mineralogical composition. So as you know the triangular diagram, there is one triangular diagram that is olivine and OPX and CPX. Okay, so this is divided into, you can say, a kind of three parts: one, two, three, something like this. So here you have olivine plus OPX. In this zone you have the olivine plus CPX. Here you have both olivine, OPX, CPX, and in the bottom part there is only olivine and CPX, that is your you can say pyroxenoid. Okay, and the uppermost triangle here, it is your what, the monomineralic rock that is composed entirely of olivine, so it is your dunite. Okay, so as far as this is concerned, the websterite is OPX plus CPX, that is this zone. Okay, websterite. Then virolite is olivine, oh, sorry, it is olivine plus CPX, that means this zone. Then Herzbergite, it has the olivine and OPX, and lahergillite is the centermost part. So there is one thing which you can learn is that there are three rocks which comes in the sequence. Okay, olivine, OPX, CPX. Okay, so here you have the Herzbergite, and here you have the lahergillite, and here you have virolite. So this sequence you should remember. How you can remember? You can remember the simple technique here, the alphabetical order. Okay, it is alphabetical order. So if you know, first one will come H, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, then I, J, K, L, then W. So in the same order, these rocks are there. So now you can remember that which one is OPX ridge, which one is CPX ridge, or which is the exact balance, or you can say 50-50%. So here third option will be our right answer. Now another question is the comatite. Comatite have a high concentration of which element? Whether magnesium, iron, manganese, CaO. So here the correct answer is Mg. Now one more thing here which you can I can say interpret, that if comatite have more magnesium, then what type of olivine you may form? There are two olivines. One is Mg rich and another is iron rich. and the name forsterite and phyllite. So one more question can be asked like comatite have dominance of whether forsterite or phyllite. So forsterite, that is Mg range, will be your right answer. Okay, another question is which of the following does not belong to the same group, whether sovite, rogite, albicite or jacopyrangite. These four are the rocks, but the first, second and third, these three are nothing but the carbonatite rock. Okay, so based on whether carbonate rock is coarse grain, fine grain, or it contains some other minerals, this is the classification. While this is not a carbonate rock, it is rather an alkaline rock. So your fourth one is different one, so fourth option will be your right answer. Then the norm or CIPW classification is essentially a mineralogical, chemical, genetic or textural classification. So what happens is whenever we calculate the CIPW norm or any other norm, we have the bulk oxide compositions like how much K2O is present, how much SiO2 is present, how much Na2O is present in the solution, how much Al2O3 is present. So based on these compositions, we try to interpret how the crystals, how the minerals may form. So based on that sequence, it is a kind of genetic classification. Okay, so we have these oxides from the experiment, or you can say from the rock, and we try to identify what minerals should be present in rock. Okay, so this is a norm or CIPW classification where we try to identify minerals based on the oxide which is present. So here third option will be our right answer. Then question number 27th one is if a rock is consists of minerals such as azurine, rhyolite or Erfdesmoid, Erfdesmonite. I am not able to pronounce it properly. So, but what are these minerals? Whether these are belongs to the paralkalines, paraluminium, subalcuminous, or metaluminous. So, if you see, these are sodium dominated. Okay, and this is a function which is possible only when you have less Al2O3. Okay, if less Al2O3 in comparison to sodium and potassium, then we call it what? Peralkaline rock. First option will be our right answer. Question may be asked in a reverse sequence, like if you have a peralkaline rock, what mineral you may find? So the answer will be your azurine, rhyolite on these minerals. Here first option is our right answer. Another question is spessarite is a lamprophile which is composed of. So lamprophile is classified into various types based on the mineral composition present. So here the spessarite is present when your lamprophile is commonly have hornblende and plagioclase. Okay, second option is your right answer. You can see all of these classification they are given in the J.D. Winter book. Okay, then 29th question is in a poikilotic texture, host crystals or oligocrest must have. So there are two type of important textures that are where it is the porphyritic and poikilotic. So what happens in the porphyritic texture? You have larger crystals and surrounded by the smaller crystals. While in the poikilotic textures, you have smaller crystals within a large crystal. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so smaller crystals are present within a large crystal. So how they are formed? Although you can read all of these three options, but I am going with the correct one. It is formed due to the crystallization after other constituent but under condition favoring the formation of large crystals. So what happens is you have a magma chamber, all small crystals are formed. Okay, after the formation of these crystals, large crystals will form. Okay, so definitely they will occupy the all spaces, and also the minerals small crystal will be present within that boundary. So this is how these poikilotic textures are formed. Third option is our right answer. Now the last question is, per aluminous rocks are indicated as. So as per the alumina saturation index ASI, we have three kind of rocks. First is the per aluminous rock. Okay, so in the second is the metaluminous rock. Okay, and third is the per alkaline rock. So let us see how they are classified. Per aluminous rocks you have Al2O3, which is greater than the combined K2O, Na2O and CaO. Metaluminous rock where your Al2O3 is greater than K2O plus Na2O, but it is not greater than, or you can say it is less than combined all three. Okay, while per alkaline rock their Al2O3 is less than even K2O and Na2O. Okay, so it is asking about the paraluminous rock, so first option will be our right answer. And obviously, if there is Al2O3 in excess amount, what mineral may form? It will form what? The second strongest crystal before the diamond. Now guess the option and write it in the comment section. Okay, so it's all about for today. We will see you in the next video with some next questions. Okay, thank you.